Many of us, myself included, have been returning to older versions of Minecraft as of late, perhaps because of that nostalgic ache, or because modern Minecraft has been getting a bit too overwhelming. But lately I've been a little sad about how much I'm missing out on in the modern version of this game. For the last couple of years, I've never been very good at keeping up with the updates Mojang was putting out, so I thought a fun way to immerse myself fully back into the world of modern Minecraft was to begin my forever world. For those who don't know, it's a simple concept. I load up a world and it becomes my main world that I intend to stick to forever. No 2-week Minecraft phase shenanigans. This permanency encouraged me to really explore and get to know my world over these 100 days, appreciate and interact with all that modern Minecraft has to offer, and get to build using the multitude of incredible blocks I have at my disposal in 1.21. Including a really ambitious build I took on near the end of this video. Lord knows if my younger self had access to these features, he'd sure as hell be using them. So if you're like I was and you've been hesitant to get into modern Minecraft again lately, or you're just an appreciator of modern Minecraft currently, I hope I can show you how special this game still is in the modern day over the next 100 days in my Minecraft forever world. I aptly named my world Eternia after the eternal amount of time I plan to spend in it, and made sure I had the day counter on, which appears in-game in the top left on Bedrock Edition as a permanent number on your screen once you've turned the setting on, which happens to be a very useful feature for my purposes making this video. Well, hello to Eternia, my first time stepping foot in the world I'll be spending, as the name of it implies, for the duration of my stay playing this game. Importantly, you might see that I'm starting here with a starting map, which some of you might see as a little cheat or something. Well, first of all, it's not even in the cheats section, so hardly a cheat. Oh, my first wood in Eternia. The reason for that is just because I've been playing on Minecraft Xbox editions and then Bedrock Edition on console pretty much since I started playing this game, and they have always had starting maps, and so it feels like something right. These look like fun decorations, so I might take a few of them as well. After immediately admiring one of the new features of modern Minecraft, Fallen Leaves, I went ahead and got the basics done. Now equipped with a crafting table and wooden tools, I laid out my plans for the foreseeable future for my time in Eternia. For my 0th day, as you can see it is, what I would like to do is not settle down too quickly. And yeah, following in my good friend Ethan's words, I'm going to do a bit of exploring before I put my feet up and settle down anywhere. Of course, I'm going to try and collect resources as I go, and holy shit, okay. Wow. Wow, that was, yeah, collect resources as I go. Hell yeah. After finding a fissure nearby, I crafted some stone tools and gathered some coal. I also discovered Bedrock's lovely feature of fucking flashbanging you when you try to take a screenshot. I explored a little within the fissure, and upon exiting realized that my first night was already upon me. It looks like I'll be spending my first night on the run. Yeah, definitely looks like that. Luckily, I have Smite, which I believe works on all, okay, fuck, I'm already destroying the landscape. All undead, I believe. There's so many enormous landscapes here. I don't even know. For once, I'm not really looking around just to build. I'm looking around just to explore, because I want to take Ethan's word, you know, as something fairly significant, you know, like really explore the world around you so that you know all of your options are there. And then, you know, you can always later come back and build something at spawn if you'd like to. But for now, I'm just focused on exploring a bunch of different locations that this beautiful seed has to offer me. I then stumbled upon a village from which I looted a brewing stand. And then got a really good early game bow from a skeleton drop. Bro had an enchanted bow, power 2, and it's only half broken. I'm so excited. I then stole and used a blast furnace and left the village just in time to see the sun beginning to rise. Oh, thank God. I then scaled down the mountain plateau I barely realized I had slowly climbed up, admiring the beauty of the cliff faces ahead of me, off of which I harvested a pumpkin patch. I also spotted another modern Minecraft feature I hadn't seen before in-game. These are firefly bushes, I believe, which create very nice ambient firefly lighting later at night. So I'm going to be keeping those for building. As much as I'd love to be a nomad forever, I do at some point have to stow away all of these items I've collected. So I'm going to need to be setting up camp at least temporarily in the near future. I continued my way through the many different woods, sprinting across the landscapes as night began to fall. Slowly, I had circled back around to nearby spawn and decided I wanted to build on the beach closest to where people spawned in. Not wanting to do this in the middle of the night, however, however, I crawled into a hole and slept there to skip through to day 2. I cleared out some vegetation and began gathering wood for what was to be my first ever base in Eternia. As I was doing this, I wanted to answer a question some of you might be thinking. Why choose Bedrock Edition? Well, first and foremost, I grew up playing legacy Minecraft versions such as the Xbox 360 and Xbox One editions, and whether I like it or not, Bedrock Edition is the official continuation of that. Secondly, when I do transfer a world to Java to behold a new build I've been making with shaders installed, it feels like a cinematic treat being able to see my world through that lens only every once in a while. A treat you're going to be seeing after every build I finish in this world, I might add. Thirdly, Bedrock has by far the easiest way to connect with friends online. And don't give me that port forwarding is so easy shit. I'm talking all both parties have to do is click and load into their friend's game and be automatically connected. And you'll see that this third point is a pretty relevant factor to me in starting a forever world. Even the starter base was built around making sure my friends knew where to find everything in Eternia. I feel like I want to explore what's beyond this ocean, but I'm aware that I think spawn area is kind of important, something I don't want to forget about, something I want to keep relevant to the world. So in case I find something across there that I think is truly beautiful and I don't even want to come back here, I want to have something, or at least, for a while, I want to have something set up here that people who come in, join the world, can spot from a distance, find, maybe grab some spare items, tools, know that they can follow this ocean straight ahead, straight north, and find me there. Or if I end up coming back here, just still a nice starter area, and I can maybe provide some coordinates within the starting hut as to where I am. Like a hut that just basically tells people what's going on in the world, where they can find things once there are things to find. But for now, it's also going to be my starting hut. And I think spawn is like somewhere over here, like this sort of patch. So what I'm going to do is place maybe some signs throughout the forest that sort of point this way. I think that could be cute too. I eventually got around to crafting my first piece of armor, and on day 3, discovered a nearby cave mouth in which I gathered some coal and copper. I also got a glimpse of a terrifying dark fissure that I definitely didn't feel like I was yet ready to explore. Afterwards, I returned into the forest to continue farming wood for my first build. It's so weird hearing leaves, like tree leaves, break and not be ear shattering. That's a crazy update to just sneakily put in there. I continue building up my base with an oak log frame. I didn't want to chop down any of the birch forest nearby unless I had to the point that I was actually even keeping one of the birch trees as part of the actual structure. I began clearing out the grass floor when Ethan, a big inspiration for why I started out Eternia with a plan for excessive exploration, joined the voice channel.
Keep exploring, man. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
The whole
I get a bit
point.
I get a bit lost when I explore too much. Like I get a bit like I lose I don't feel very grounded. Like if I don't build something before, even if it's something like this where it's like the plan is for the build to not really be my main base, if I don't build something like that before the session is over, I tend to kind of not feel like I have anything to come back to,
Yeah.
Like if I rejoin the world and I'm just still aimlessly wandering around, it feels a bit like, yeah.
Well, what I do is I build things that I call camps. So when I usually load into a world where I plan to run around quite extensively, I build camps, which would be I make a bed, I make a chest, I make a furnace, and I make a crafting table. I lay it out nicely, I put all campfire, and I leave it.
Yeah.
So I will use it as a base of operations while I'm running around, but eventually I move on and I leave what I left there. And that makes it feel a lot more lived in. Also, keep track of where those things are. So I remember coordinates and I'll be like, I know if I run 10,000 blocks this way, there's a campsite right there.
Right. Yeah, actually campsites might be a good idea. That's a fun thing I could think about.
My little niche explore thing.
Over the following days, as I continued to work on the starter base, Ethan and I chatted about Eternia and modern Minecraft in general, and how I wanted to approach it. Oh man, there's a reason I don't work with birch. I do not like working with birch.
Yeah, it's a very hit or miss block.
It is. I want no comments saying that, oh my god, I thought you were quitting.
No,
you were quitting your main world. Shut up. Okay.
Fuck you.
I just felt trapped.
Kid.
Just felt trapped. Now I don't. My creativity has been freed once again. This is what it looks like when my creativity gets freed. Maybe I should have kept it trapped. Wow,
Amazing.
if only there was some block. If only there was some block that existed that could connect these two end staircases. I hate Mojang so much.
I also think it'd be great. And like, I'm sure people would be like, oh, but there's fence posts or whatever. Shut the fuck up.
Honestly, if I squint, it's not that bad. The birch and the oak together. Now check this out. Boom. We got the boom. Check that. It's gonna be boom, Boom. It's cute. It works. It works. It's fine. It's fine. Especially when the trees are over it like this, you know, so you can't really see it. By day 5, the oak birch combo entranceway was coming along pretty nicely. But now I had to think of a name.
What did you, the big question is, what did you name this world?
Check this out.
Are you actually trying to change the color of the text?
No, I know you can use dye, but look at this. Boom. How cool is that? You don't even need dye. You just need this symbol and a hex code. This is what I used to do before they added dyeing signs to the game. So. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, because the idea behind this world is for it to be my forever world. Sort of like, I don't know if you've seen that sort of trend popping up where people are saying like start a world and don't leave it, you know. I mean I don't know, I've been doing that for years in the form of my main worlds, but like I'm approaching
what I've done it. I've got
exactly. So that's what I decided to advertise this world as, my 5th and final world. Who knows if that'll ring true, but I'm trying to make it like that. So what I decided to call the world was Eternia, as in eternal.
Nice. You got to build a castle. I already know.
Yeah. Why?
Eternia just sounds like something that has a castle.
Okay.
Do you not get that feeling as well?
I mean, yeah, sure, yeah. Sure, man. By day 6, I had all of my stuff nicely stowed away in a chest within the frame of the birch commune. I started putting up some signs in the woods to attract future players to the spawn build. To spawn hub. I'm really enjoying this, building in a new world.
Fuck yeah, man.
A hot take. For all the reasons I said, the fun part for me isn't exploring. It's getting to find a place. Well, of course it's exploring to find that first place you want to build in. But building that first, you know, structure, that first like main area, it's always so satisfying to be like, I have officially made my mark on this world.
Yeah.
On day 7, I awoke to a pleasant greeting from my new neighbor. Yeah, this building is going well. But I would like to collect some. Fuck! The fuck?
Whoa.
Where did you come from? I then started filling in some of the window frames and adding a bit of exterior birch detail to the oak framework, finally adding an official front door. Needing to do a bit more mining, however, I headed back into the nearby cave mouth.
Oh, let's see this. Is this a ravine thing?
Yeah.
Oh, I know what I'm building, bro, when I join.
I'm looking for iron without having to go caving for it, because the cave looked too scary.
By the way, the leaf litter that you're looking at, that shit is gorgeous for fuel.
For fuel?
You get it?
Oh.
Yeah, you burn it in a fur. It's for, they put it in there for design, but also as use. Like if you're early game Minecraft and you can't, like a stack of it is gorgeous. I love it. I love the new edition of the leaf litter and the flowers. I think it's gorgeous.
Baby. I was gonna kill it.
You're gonna fucking kill that child.
By day 8, I still hadn't mustered up the courage to enter the fissure in the cave, nor had I found any other cave entrances, so I just carried on building the birch commune. By day 9, the base of the birch commune was complete. Now all that was left was to put the roof together. Confident with how the build was going, but wanting it to run a little smoother with some iron tools, I yet again tried to find a different cave mouth to the one nearby. There's gotta be a cave around these parts. Coral.
we both did it.
But eventually, I had to give in. Oh my god. Okay, fine. I'll go into the big scary fucking cave. Fuck me. Fuck. I can't. I actually can't.
Why? Are you genuinely scared?
No. I can't. Because if I drop in, I'll die, and I don't have iron for a fucking water bucket, so I can't. I literally can't. Oh, this game is fucking like cock blocking me. Just give me a surface cave, please.
You can totally go down there. No, go back.
How? How on earth?
You kidding me?
No. It's not this, Ethan. It's a fissure lower down. It's this.
Oh, like that.
Yeah, I want to go in here.
Ah.
And I'd like to not die while I'm at it.
You could risk mining a staircase down.
Yeah, but the problem is I can't see the wall.
Oh, it's like literally like 20 block.
Maybe
10 block.
Maybe if I go like this. Okay, actually, this might have overreacted a little bit. You aren't angry at me because it's daytime. Haha, right? Fuck. Oh, now that I'm down here. See, this is the part of the story where the guy starts pushing his luck.
You're probably wondering how I ended up here. Yeah, this is me.
Yeah. Surely I've got another rose in here. Yes. Poppy! Whatever, shut up.
What the fuck?
Fucking rose.
Aye, Poppy!
Yeah,
that's what I thought you were doing.
They changed it to being called a poppy instead of a rose. Hashtag not my rose. Anyway, yeah. Red beds, supremacy.
Where's Skylar's Minecraft in these trying times?
Like prison, isn't it? I don't know. On day 10, I ventured into the woods to gather more birch for the commune. Ah, shit! Goodbye, glass.
What, no silk touch?
No, I don't have any fucking silk touch. Even you know I don't have any silk. Started this world 10 days ago. They like really calmed that Oh, I accidentally, no, I'm not even gonna bother trying to cut this shit down. I placed some lanterns about the commune to add some lighting to the build, and just as I was about to get started on the signs that would show newcomers the way to different bases, oh! Pink sheep! Oh my god.
Whatever.
Oh my god. It's just like the Minecraft movie. Oh my god. And then I continued adding little exterior details to the build. I wonder, do you think this is better, like this, where the block underneath the door is grass? Or do you think this is better, like this? I kind of like the grass.
Yeah, I like the grass. I found out 3 days ago that there's different fucking ocean biomes in Minecraft. Like, my god. Reading a map thing that says, oh, you need to find a warm ocean biome. How the fuck am I supposed to know if it's warm? It's a goddamn video game. Like, it's all blue.
I then added the beginning of what would be a collection of signs showing new players the way, heading to bed afterward, realizing as I fell asleep that I had used all of my iron up on lanterns and would have to get more. Oh no. Fuck, okay, that was kind of an overreaction. Oh! Okay, that was an overreaction. Fuck off, piss off. Oh, I don't have it. Okay, I don't have any arrows. Just come fucking explode on me, dude. Look at this. I accidentally hit a water cave. Oh, this is all water through there. That's where the squids are floating around in there.
New big build idea. You need to go to an ocean monument, find a bunch of sponges, all right? You need to empty that place out.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the build.
That would so make a cave. So just make a cave. As the day went on, I finished and admired the entrance face of the commune, focusing thereafter on the roof, a project which continued into day 12, during which I finally capped off the roof to my first ever build in Eternia. I have just completed, well, okay, maybe a few details here and there I will get to soon. They completed Birch Commune, which is going to, in future, as you can see here, show base coordinates of future bases made by me or friends of mine who join the world, and I think this is a nice hub, which I will be adding a little bit more detail to as time goes on. And only 12 days in, we gotta... It took a while. On day 13, I continued adding signs to the woods that would eventually guide new players to the Birch Commune. Eventually, I wanted to make this a more obvious path, but for now, this would do. I also ran into some foxes I tried to befriend, but not knowing much about how foxes work in this game, I left them behind. I kitted myself up with some iron armor and added some plot pond decor to the Birch Commune exterior, defeating a trident-wielding drowned afterward. I then added some of those firefly bushes around the commune to add that unique Minecraft ambience you can only really find with items such as this, which add both a visual firefly element, but also the slight high-pitched bug noises. After shooting a creeper near my base, I booked it for the middle of the woods. Ain't no way I was gonna let the commune get blown up a day after its completion. I spent my time here hunting down skeletons to hopefully collect bones for bone meal that I could add some detail to the exterior of the commune. I also crafted some pumpkin lanterns from the pumpkins I'd collected a few days prior, figuring they would one day make for some good lighting in a future build. The sun eventually rose on day 14, on which I began creating a clearer pathway leading up to the commune. With this complete, I wanted to finally head off across the ocean to see what else the world of Eternia had to offer. Almost immediately, I spotted a ruined structure on an island in the ocean, keeping in mind that expanding that ruin might make for a cool build one day. Immediately after that, I ran into another broken nether portal, looting what it had to offer. Rowing and rowing my way across the long stretch of water, I ran into another ruined nether portal, this one underwater. I spotted land to my left and right, but I really wanted to go fairly straight ahead to see if there was anything cool directly on my southern axis of the world. Now, if I'm able to make my way all across a vast ocean like this, you're definitely able to make your way down to the subscribe button, especially if you want to see more of Eternia in the future. As rowing turned into running, I stumbled upon a gorgeous landscape. This imposing cherry blossom cliff face was connected to a larger mountain that cradled the village between its arms. Not only that, but there was a naturally generated cave that provided direct access to the cherry blossom biome that existed on the plateau above the cliff. A pig caught me admiring the beautiful vista from up here. Definitely won't be making that mistake again. Deciding I wanted to build up here, at least for the time being, I chopped down a couple of cherry blossom trees, replanting more than I cut down as I wanted the plateau to be covered in them. I then cleared out a plot of flat land to build on. I wanted to build something inspired by Japanese architecture. I know, a temple build in the cherry blossom biome, how original, well, yeah, read the username bit. But to do that, I was gonna need to chop down a lot more cherry trees. So I continued my chopping and replanting until I felt I had enough to begin work. I tried to start building out the framework, but after a lot of failed attempts, I realized I wanted to build the temple on top of a platform, which would require some stone. After scaling down the mountain and spending a night in a villager's home, on day 17, I spent my time exploring the surrounding caves and ravines, gathering minerals and stone as I went. After feeling I'd collected enough, I returned to the surface, or rather far above it, to begin work on the foundation of my new build, once enough cobblestone had smelted. On day 18, I laid out the foundational stone bricks that the temple would be mounted atop. While waiting for more cobble to smelt, I continued harvesting the cherry blossom trees, which had already become quite the dense forest compared to how how it was when I arrived. While I initially intended to work through the rain, the incredibly loud, thunderous crashing made it a bit hard to concentrate. So resuming my work on day 19, I eventually completed the platform. I then began the framework of the 2B temple. Having never worked with cherry blossom logs or planks, I took a lot of pauses to think carefully about how I was going to do this. I decided that creating some depth in the design of the building would go a long way, and it was exciting to use all the cherry wood variants of doors, fences, and trapdoors for the first time. After having completed the main structure of the temple's first floor, I took a well-needed rest and added some cracked detail in the stone brick of the foundation the next day. I then lined the framework with some fences and made some cute checkered windows with the cherry blossom trapdoors. I also added a couple lanterns littered about the framework, adding a nice soft glow to the build. I chopped down and replanted cherry blossoms until the sun was sinking toward the horizon. On day 21, I finally moved all my loose belongings into the interior of the temple structure, not before replacing the stone brick flooring with something a bit more visually coherent. I then slowly developed the ceiling of the first floor using cherry slabs and stairs, leaving room for a ladder connecting to the 2B second floor in one corner. I then continued lighting up the build with lanterns and added some detail to the exterior entranceways. I then crafted a cherry hanging sign to officially name this new build of mine Sakura Temple. On day 22, I started working on the second floor, trying my best to achieve that iconic upturned roof corner look of Japanese architecture with many different design attempts. Eventually I landed on something that worked and replicated the look on each side of the build. I added some torches atop each of the fence posts to add to the glowing look I wanted to give the temple. On day 23 I did some more cherry farming and began extending my build to its second story. I kept the design fairly similar to the first floor but added a small window effect using cherry stairs. I altered this look with some cherry doors and fence posts. I then moved my bed upstairs. The design I had going for the second floor made it so that 2 beds fitted up there. I'll be dyeing them to fit the decor better a little later. I then somewhat recreated the upturned roof design on a slightly smaller scale for the second floor, a process which took me into day 25. Many slabs, stairs, fences, and torches later, I'd finally completed the temple eaves. Taking a look back, I was super happy with how the build was coming along. It was my first ever time building in this temple style and with this cherry wooden block, so all things considered, I had to be pretty proud of myself. But the work wasn't done yet. I added some dirt elevation detail around the stone brick platform, which would hopefully make it feel a bit more embedded in the plateau. I then got back to work on the remaining roof design I still had to figure out. I used a myriad of cherry slab, stair, and log combinations to make the design feel complex but symmetrical, all leading up to one pinnacle at the very top, the point I finally reached near the end of the day. On my way back into the second floor, I wanted to see how much room I had to work with for the possible balcony. Accidentally breaking the log holding the entrance sign up, I got a view of a creeper that was trying to sneak up on me. Slimy bastard. After dealing with that, I went ahead and designed a balcony for the 2 faces of the second floor that had doorways. Now they weren't just for show. Taking a look from afar as the sun was setting, I was once again super proud of my work thus far. Largely completed, Sakura Temple only needed a few details added before I could continue my journey onward into the depths of Eternia's landscape. One of these details was a smoker I installed along with a makeshift piping system for the smoke. I then added some more lantern details / lighting. After bone mealing the now green grass I had added to the build, I added a small path leading away from the temple. I then finally made the beds the correct shade, and with this, Sakura Temple was complete. I'm so proud of how this build turned out. Similar to the birch commune, I used materials I wasn't all too familiar with building with, not to mention not ever having built a temple in this style before, and it turned out great. With the commune in mind, I jotted down the coordinates of the temple and scaled down the mountainside to continue exploring Eternia. On day 28, I reached the shore once again, hopping into my trusty birch boat. I decided to take a roundabout route back to spawn so that I could explore slightly eastward of it as well. This decision got me to stumble upon another cherry blossom biome, another ruined nether portal, and a pillager outpost all at once. I reset my spawn with a piss bed from the village in case I died taking on the pillagers, and I hoped the iron golem locked up in the outpost prison would help me fight, but instead I found 2 Allays. I had absolutely no idea what these guys did. I'd vaguely remembered them being introduced into the game a couple years back, but I wasn't keeping up with the updates enough to know what they actually did. Seeing that one of them grabbed my axe when I left-clicked on it, I naively hoped that they would help me fight if I gave them weapons. Knowing what I do about Allays now, it's absolutely hilarious watching me try to figure out how to get them to help me fight these pillagers. If you're in the dark as I was, by the way, you'll see what Allays do soon enough. I had bigger issues to worry about though, getting dangerously close to dying as I took on this small portion of pillagers from the outpost. After a quick Google search, I discovered that Allays fly around in search of the item you make them hold, and bring those items back to you. I was only really convinced of this once I saw them in action though. I thought this was an unbelievably cool feature, and I was so psyched to use it more practically for whatever base I build in the future. For the time being though, I just got them to pick up arrows for me as I cleaved my way through the pillager outpost, looting all of their gear thereafter. I slept in the piss bed and on day 29, I tested out the horn I'd looted from the outpost. Sick. I then continued journeying through the mountain biomes, beginning to think that the cherry blossom biomes weren't all that rare, nor were the villages next to them apparently. I did discover a giant chasm in the side of the mountain the village was built on, and quickly spotted a mineshaft near its surface. Immediately deciding I wanted to explore it, I set my spawn with the piss bed and plunged into the shaft, looting a very nearby chest minecart. Realizing I had a lot of shit on me, I plopped the chest down and put my stuff away so that I could fill my inventory with mineshaft loot. My Allays and I explored the intertwining shafts that winded above and below one another, getting lost pretty quickly but earning myself a good amount of coal and iron in the process. I also found a couple of name tags as I went, which I was hoping to use to name my tiny blue friends. After encountering a rather large shaftway, I got attacked from above by a witch who luckily only managed to splash herself with poison. Dumb bitch. I followed a zombie's growl around the corner, which revealed a dungeon. Even better though, it was a skeleton spawner. You can bet I made sure to jot down these coordinates. I was also now in possession of my first golden apple thanks to the dungeon loot. I was so abysmally lost down here though, I was beginning to think I might have to dig my way out of here. Nope. Right back where I started. I wasn't planning on leaving just yet though. I still had many dark corridors to explore. After smelting a bunch of iron in the dungeon, I'd equipped myself with a full set of iron armor and tools. On day 30, I continued exploring the confusing, seemingly endless stone halls. I was pretty chuffed with my genius maneuver of killing a bunch of mobs using a creeper. I also encountered multiple cave spider spawners while exploring this mineshaft, although I had no intention out of making a farm out of those. I've done that before, and believe me, it's not worth the effort. After what felt like fucking years in these winding halls, I eventually made my way up and out of the mineshaft and back to my small base setup. This was around the time the sun was rising on day 31. One of my Allays proved his usefulness when I killed a skeleton across the gaping ravine and wanted to collect his bones without going there myself, which reminded me that I hadn't seen one of my Allays in a while. I thought back and I think there's a good chance he either died to some creeper explosion or got stuck and couldn't teleport back to me in time. Unfortunately, it was too windy and confusing down there to even notice. But after a quick Google search, all you need to do to get more Allays is an amethyst crystal. They duplicate on their own after being fed one of those. So not to worry, as long as I kept this little guy safe, I'd have access to as many Allays as I wanted. This did get me thinking that it was about time he got a name. My girlfriend Jemima was with me at the time of recording and suggested I name him Timothy. I crafted an anvil to do this, and despite this wandering villager's protest, I went ahead and named the name tag, officially dubbing my one and only Allay Timothy. I didn't want to be losing him too. Before I left this mineshaft area, I did one more sweep of the caves and shafts below, getting attacked by a witch with only slightly better aim. I crawled my way through a wall of dripstone which led to another cave opening, in which I found my first ever vein of diamonds. It felt weird having my first vein of diamonds be found within deep slate instead of just regular stone. After gathering a few more minerals and running out of torches, I climbed my way back to the surface, by which point it had passed into day 32. I smelted a bunch of the ores I'd mined and packed my inventory with what I considered to be the most important items, leaving the gaping ravine behind. I'd forgotten how enjoyable it was to explore my world actually on the surface. I was slowly honing in on spawn, but I stopped by a giant tiger biome to sleep. The next day I befriended a dark grey wolf on my way through the forest, instinctively giving him a light blue color. I don't know, just felt like it suited his coat color well. Seeing as I had a name tag and an anvil on me anyway, I went ahead and named him Skype, after his color. Ripped to the OG Discord platform. I used to use that shit all the time to chat to online homies back in the early 2010s. I continued my travels, eventually arriving back at the Birch commune with 2 new friends. I packed away all the items I'd collected in my time away and added a coordinate sign for the Birch commune, Sakura temple, and the skeleton spawner I'd found as well. On day 34, I decided to venture out west, interested in what lay beyond the ocean in this direction. On my way out to sea, I spotted a small cute island that I wanted to keep in mind for a possible future build. I was clearly getting too greedy with these ruined nether portals I was constantly finding because I almost died in the one I found underwater here. I did get some protective armor and 2 sick-ass axes though. After rowing for over 2,000 blocks, I finally encountered land. A jungle. And this wasn't like any jungle I had ever seen before. Approaching it in the rain, this jungle was an imposing giant silhouette, with the biome stretching over a large steep mountain. I also spotted a jungle temple on a nearby shore, excavating it of its evil mobs, even successfully getting one of the temple traps to shoot a skeleton. After totally legitimately figuring out the piston lock, I looted the temple's wild armor trim, a feature I wasn't all too familiar with, but I was excited to learn more at a later stage. I gathered some bamboo to possibly grow back at spawn, and fled toward the Birch commune, starting to get afraid of dying in this dark jungle so far away from home. I eventually made it back, and on day 35, added the temple's coordinates to the commune walls. I finally crafted my first diamond pickaxe, and while doing this, I was starting to notice how rabid Skype's barking sounds were. This is definitely not what I was used to dogs sounding like, and whether or not it was a breed-specific sound file, I definitely couldn't have him growl shouting at me and any newcomers in the Birch commune. So I filled up my inventory. It was time to head out into the world once again, but this time I knew pretty much where I was headed. I picked up Skype and started running toward the giant tiger biome I'd tamed him him in. If anything, I was set on building a base just so that I could leave Skype somewhere nice but out of earshot. I reached the biome by the end of the day, but then noticed Skype wasn't anywhere to be seen. This guy is such a nuisance, honestly. I quickly slept and found him heading back toward the tiger biome with Skype cutely tucked into the back of my boat. I wanted my base to have a view on top one of these massive hills, so I explored the biome until I found one with a relatively flat top. This one also had an incredible view, only spruce and taiga as far as the eye could see, including a spruce village on the misty horizon. I started clearing out some space to build. Skype and I fought the zombies making a racket down below, and then I continued chopping down all the spruce wood I hoped to build my base with. I wanted to make sure a big part of my base was focused on showing off that amazing view. On day 37 I started constructing a framework for this build, but after spending the whole day messing around with it, I realized I did not fuck with this framework in the slightest, and on day 38 decided to change it. Just remember this, aspiring builders. Progress on a new build isn't always linear. Sometimes you gotta start from scratch, which is exactly what I did. I wanted to make a semi-modern base with a giant tall window facing the view. I built the rest of the framework around this design, and on day 39 I made use of stripped spruce logs for the base of the wall design. I then built up the framework some more, leaving room for an entrance hall jutting out of the main body. I knew from the get-go a fireplace would be an absolute certainty for this build, so I prematurely laid out some brick stairs and placed a fireplace among them. Feeling cozy already. I then installed the spruce plank flooring and extended a balcony platform out of the house using planks and stripped logs. On day 40 I witnessed the unfortunate cruelty of the wild world unfold between a wolf and a fox. I then added some button detail to the balcony and filled in the rest of it with spruce planks. Thinking just filling in the walls with planks would look too bland, I designed a wall with a bit more depth, utilizing stairs and stripped logs, and distributed this design around the house. To add a bit more sturdiness, I attached some stabilizing logs to the corners of the build. On day 41 I had the pleasure of Ethan joining VC once again, who checked in on my progress.
Oh, nice. The tiger outpost.
Yeah, working on this build here, overlooking the spruce mite.
Good view,
Yeah, spawn area is somewhere over there, and this is Skype.
Skype.
Yeah, I thought that was good. I continued farming giant spruce trees to collect materials for the rest of the build. Ethan had a little anecdote to share about what it's like watching my Minecraft videos and playing the game at the same time. An experience I hope all of you true fans relate to. By the way, true fans are actually subscribed if you didn't know. And if you're getting irritated by these subscribe bits, you only have yourselves to blame.
I've been making the mistake of like watching well, like recently while I've been playing Minecraft, you've obviously uploaded a few Minecraft videos. Listening to those while playing it myself, and I had the volume pretty high, is fucking like, it's great, but it's also pretty distracting. Because every time you walk into a creeper, I freak the fuck out. I go like, oh shit, like I spin 360 and I'm like, you know, swinging my sword, and it's like, oh, it's not on me. And then eventually it is on me, but I go, nah, it's Stuart's video probably. And then fucking
I started the beginnings of a roof which would have 3 main sections. One for the lowest left side of the build, one for the right side of the build, both of which slope up towards the middle window section, which would have its own roof too. The lowest section of the roof also needed to connect to the entranceway, which I completed that day as well. Seems like my undead neighbors like it too. Oh god, Jesus. I added some exterior lighting to the build and got a nice little reminder of why I'm doing this build in the first place. Shut the fuck up. I continued work on the right side of the 2B spruce manor, leaving a gap for the fireplace smoke to plume out of. I decided to make the tall section of the base even taller. That giant window was going to be fucking amazing to look out of. By day 44, I was working on the roof above, this 2B enormous window. Once this was complete, I took a look at the build from the edge of the balcony, pretty happy with how the main structure had turned out. Now I gotta get a metric shit ton of glass. Wow, yeah, this looks cool. After running down the mountain to get sand, I realized how much of a chore it would be getting back up to my manor. Fuck. I love the view I have here, but it's so irritating getting down to anything useful. This concern of mine was clearly validated on my way back. God damn it. I gotta get to my own house. I can see it up there.
What's 18 more years?
On day 45, I finally got to start filling in the glass window when Ethan asked me a very important question.
Is it you doing panes or blocks?
Blocks.
Oh my god.
Well, I don't know. No, I hadn't even thought about panes.
No one heard that, right?
What the hell was that?
I farted on my mic.
Oh my god, that's fucking gross. And now you're putting it like at your mouth. Wow. Wow, Ethan. Wow.
Oh, Stewie, I'm so full of poo.
Have you seen Poo Peter?
No.
It's a Instagram meme of a Peter Griffin, and he keeps saying how he's full of poo, and that we must shit, and people must cover him in it.
Okay. That's lovely. Why can't I? You can't place bone meal on Podzol. Oh, that's just lovely, isn't it? I don't know. Should I do panes? Sort of
Yeah,
like
I think
flashing it.
panes, to be honest.
This is so brutal. After deciding on glass panes instead, I finally got to fill in the iconic massive window, admiring it in all its glory from afar. Yeah, awesome. I then installed some balcony railings. Don't worry, I made sure to install them on the really dangerous sides. Do you think this needs rails, like on the end here? Like this part? Or just the sides?
You could, but I think it should be fine without it.
Yeah, I don't think it needs...
It allows it to be like a landing pad for an elytra or a ghast.
That's true. Oh, fuck.
Did you jump off?
Yeah, no, I fell off, which is really funny timing, but yeah. Nah, it doesn't need rails. When it was time to make a second floor to the manor, I struggled with how it was going to fit in a staircase, eventually deciding on a spiral one in the middle of the build, finishing this on day 46. I also then installed what little flooring I could fit up here, preparing a bed spot too. I shortly after got greeted with my first ever creeper sighting at this build site. Creeper.
Hey,
It's using my dog as cover. How dare you? After I finished up a window frame on the second floor, I noticed a slight building error. Ah, this looks cool. Unfortunately, you have to hop over this to get to the bed, but I could rotate the entire staircase by 90 degrees. I could do that, because then you would have this situate where it's like cutting into the... So do I want stair cutting into the hallway like this? Or do I want gap in front of the bed? I guess it's technically more important to be able to successfully make it to the bed. Yeah, this is pretty cool. I like this top area. It's got like a little window over here, and there's got a big window over here. I don't like this. I'm gonna have to rotate the fucking thing. Okay, wait, hold on. What if I rotated it 90 degrees this way? Then you'd come out. There'd be a gap there. That's actually better. Oh, this is beautiful. This is gorgeous. The following morning, I got to admire the beautiful view from my new bedroom. Are you looking at my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, this is what a screenshot looks like on Minecraft Bedrock Edition. It's like a fucking flashbang. To avoid having a giant chasm between the staircase and the bed, I decided to rotate the staircase so that it popped out on the second floor at a better angle. I added some interior lighting detail, noting how gorgeous the moonrise looked through the tall window. Yeah, I really knocked it out of the park with this one. On day 48, I moved all the workbenches and items into the house, dedicating a kitchen type of corner to put all these useful things in. Couldn't forget Skype either. Okay, come on, Skype. It's time for you to have a home. Once he was inside, I was quickly reminded of why this manor existed in the first place. I climbed down to a nearby fissure to collect stone to build my chimney with. After making a blast furnace and cauldron back home, I was beginning to amass quite the collection of useful interfaces, all confined into one spot. I decided to go through the effort of filling up the cauldron just for the hell of it when I stumbled upon my first lush cave. Oh my goodness. A fucking yes! Yes! Infinite clay! Yes! After my fangirling over all that clay I found, I climbed back up the mountain and put my harvested clay away. Okay, it's not done yet though. Just fucking relax, okay? I'm gonna... Oh, I'm so excited to leave this dog. On day 49, I decided it was time to fix the fireplace, replacing the brick with stone brick, and needing to knock out some of the corner walls to fit in the chimney. I threw in some cracked stone brick and cobblestone detail as well. In the end, I decided to entirely replace one of the wooden corners of the manor with these blocks, having a little bit of stone brick chimney popping out of the top of the wooden roof. As sunset was approaching, I added some interior detail to the fireplace area, hoping to make it feel a bit more cozy with some seating and a table. On day 50, I created a little bit of an illusion of more smoke coming out of the chimney. Alright, it is a beautiful morning in Eternia. Day 50. Big day. And significantly, we have finished with this little cheat campfire placement to get some better smoke. We have finished the next settlement. Looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this one. I want to leave Skype here, but I don't want to leave him just sitting. Maybe, you know what? Maybe he'd like a sort of like carpet sort of thing by the fireplace. Or maybe not. Maybe fuck you. Maybe. That's what, maybe. Nice. Don't jump in the fire. Good boy. Nice. I'm gonna give him a little black wool carpet thing. I think I need 2 of these, unfortunately, yeah. I did just see some black sheep on the side of my mountain.
Dude, look how fucked up those sheep look.
I know. This is good, because I actually want the bed in this house to be black, so. Nice. So we have Skype's bed, and now we have my bed as well. Ah, and it's a beautiful rainy day. Thunderous day. Nice. Cute. That is really cute. I'm a big fan of that. It really makes this place seem very cozy, the thunder, so I'm a fan. Yeah, that works nicely. I think I might put a little pot plant there as well. I just can't stop adding details, but I guess that is kind of the nature of Eternia, is I want it to be a very detailed world, and it may seem like I'm going against my sort of desires here by traveling around the world constantly, but what I want to do is just make sure that the place I pick to be my main base for a while is the, you know, The plate. Fuck, I can't get a word in. I think a spruce tree would work. If they go in, I don't know. Yeah, that's nice. I like that. Needing to come up with a name for my manor, I took a long think about why this build really existed in the first place. Okay, I've come up with something. Just because, I'm sorry, I'm just really nervous about Creeper sneaking up on me or something in here. But just because I kind of half made this place just so I could give Skype a place to live because he was so fucking loud, I have decided to name this place Skype Manor. Yeah, this is Skype Manor, everyone. You can hardly fucking tell that these signs exist, actually. So I'm going to, I think, go find maybe some dark oak. I vaguely remembered seeing a dark oak biome a couple chunks south, so I set out on a little adventure to go gather some of that. I mined a lot more than I needed, just in case I felt like changing more than just the spruce sign to dark oak. Sprinting back to Skype Manor in the night, I encountered my fair share of mobs, from one of which I collected some new enchanted gold boots. I collected some flowers and mushrooms as I rushed back too. I ultimately decided that a little red mushroom worked a lot better as decoration for the manor's bedroom. On day 52, I added some more nature decor using the firefly bushes and leaves I'd gathered along my trip. This helped with detailing the podzol, which unfortunately couldn't be bone mealed. I also added a double chest for storage upstairs as my 2 singles weren't cutting it. I then changed all the furniture to dark oak to make it stand out and feel separate from the wood of the manor, doing something similar with the wooden beam holding up the staircase. I then finally got around to making the Skype Manor signs, using dark oak and white text. I then added some mossy cobble detail to the chimney, wondering how I hadn't thought of doing that already considering how much mossy cobble is just lying around in this biome. Yeah, adding the extra dark oak pieces to the build I think really brings it all together, adds a bit more contrast, and yeah, just allows the spruce to pop out a little more. And also similar with the mossy cobble I added to the exterior chimney, which was just begging to be added considering it's in the fields, you know, in the mountains around this build anyway. And we got Skype inside, and we got a nice fireplace, and the living quarters are of course fantastic. And this is gonna be the end of my time in the Tiger Biome for now. Although I love this build, I don't like how far away it is from everything. Even, you know, simple things like sand and water. And also not to mention it's so far up, so getting a good mining system going would be difficult. And literally everywhere that the eye can see, oh shit, I need to go to that village as well. Everywhere that the eye can see is spruce tiger, so it's not exactly got a lot of variation either. But nonetheless, I love the build I've done here, and I hope people come visit it. And Skype, Lord knows he's gonna need the attention. Sorry, little guy. You see, you're just too loud, too aggressive. Work on that. Whoa, check out this crazy, what the fuck? We got leaves, we got a leaf, floating leaf. On day 53, I made my way down the village, messing around with some modern Minecraft mechanics while I was at it. Oh, check this out, Ethan, check this out. I'm gonna try and drop stalagmite on this creeper. Well, does this actually work? Okay. Oh, okay, I think it did work, it just didn't deal enough damage. Hello, good sirs. I've come to steal your shit. Ah, bundle. That's new. That's new to me.
Oh, those are amazing.
Gonna be
They
using
are
that.
so goddamn good.
Oh, another bundle. Hell yes.
You can put a bundle in a bundle that's in a bundle.
Oh, and a saddle. Nice. Gold, iron. Yeah, damn, the spruce. Okay, stop looking at me
Like, what the fuck are you doing?
The spruce villages, I swear, have better stuff than like normal villages because they're always like fucking kitted out. Getting inspired by the spruce village, I thought of one final addition to make to Skype Manor. Oh, you know what I'm gonna add before I go? One of those like builds where people put like logs on their side and then use rails to pretend like they're like have just been chopping down trees. I'm gonna put some of those down. Yo, for a guy named Wandering Trader, this guy sure does fucking stick around.
Show up a lot, yeah, fuck.
Oh, this is perfect. The perfect spot. Utilizing the rails from all the way back in the enormous mineshaft I explored, I added the final touches of the surroundings to Skype Manor. So proud of how— Oh, that was so close! I accidentally pressed E instead of running. Oh my god, that was absurdly close. Yo, if fucking Skype Manor blew up this late in the game, I'd be really upset. I finished up the log rail designs and on day 54 added a lantern and some bone meal to finish off Skype Manor and its surroundings, once and for all. I think this is the 3rd time I've said this over the course of the last like 4 in-game days, but Skype Manor is officially finished. It is officially finished. All decorations, decorational additions and all. Exterior, interior. We got the fireplace burning next to Skype in his little spot there. We got the nice big glass window, the big enormous deck, which I really haven't done anything with. I could put some chairs out here maybe, but I'll leave that for another time. The very useful corner full of furnaces and stone cutters and whatnot. Yeah, and the exterior, which I think came together really nicely. Now, with the help of the bundles I've just found, I'm gonna be taking my leave, taking a bunch of as much as I can fit in my pockets, and traveling back to spawn to notify the spawn hub of this new build that is in place, so that people can come visit Skype. I'm getting a phone call. Hello?
Hey.
Yeah, you're on the recording right now, Max, and this is for a 100 days video, so it'll probably get a lot of views. What do you want to say to probably tens of thousands of people? I finally started packing up the belongings I'd gathered here since I'd settled into these woods so many days ago now. On day 55, I made my way back to spawn with a full inventory, leaving a beautiful manor and a very cozy and loud dog behind. I arrived back at the Birch commune, and as rain was pelting down, I added Skype Manor to the growing list of base coordinates. I didn't spend long here, taking my leave on day 56, heading due north, the last main cardinal direction I had yet to explore. I stumbled over a cave not too far from spawn, realizing there was a mineshaft deep in one of the fissures, right under my nose. Continuing north, I stumbled upon an incredibly beautiful bay area, which had a nice large flat portion of land extending out into the water. I was close to considering this my new home, but I felt that where I settled down next, I really wanted to be my main area for a while, and as beautiful as this location was, I didn't quite feel that click, but I sure as hell marked it from memory, as nearby there was an awesome water cave entrance and a crazy cliffside village that extended over the mountainside. I realized I had looped around to the exact village I explored on my first day. I slept in the church, and on day 57 continued my journey northward. After I had made my way some 2,000 blocks out of spawn, I stumbled upon a bona fide Mount Everest. Seriously, this was the tallest naturally generated thing I had ever seen in a non-amplified Minecraft world. I climbed all the way to the top and for a moment was tempted to build an ice igloo here, but decided against it as I wanted to wait until I had Silk Touch for adding the actual ice block to my build. I was tempted to travel even further north, but came to the realization that I'd done enough exploring for now. I'd come to know Eternia's landscapes and landmarks very well over the past 58 days, and it felt like it was time to settle down. I know what I said my intention was, find the best possible building location and make my base there. But truthfully, there's always been a feeling about building at spawn for me that I can't quite shake. Knowing that people's first impression of my world is one of beauty, care, and effort, I guess it's something important to me, and Eternia's spawn is far from uninteresting. So I ran back at full sprint, excited to finally put my spawn area to good building use. On day 59, I took a good look at the interesting terrain at spawn, deciding that I could most definitely do something with this. I began by evening out the ground and getting rid of nearby trees. I wanted to keep the interesting terrain largely as is, but I needed the cliff to feel more cliffy. So I filled out the rim of it a bit more, even building in some overhanging bits. I took a short break from this to head back to the Birch commune to add a location sign for the enormous mountain I discovered up north. On day 61, I decided to build a connecting bridge from one side of the semicircle ravine to the other using oak logs. I wanted this to be the entrance to my Y11 mineshaft, or actually should I say my Y-54 mineshaft. That's going to take some getting used to. I ventured down to the fissure near spawn to see what the mineshaft had to offer me, running into pretty immediate trouble. Curiosity killed the cookie, as they say. Trying to fight mobs while swimming up and down a waterfall that took me all the way down to Deep Slate was not a fun exercise. I was rewarded for it, however, as I found an amethyst geode and a whole 5 diamonds. Cracking up the amethyst geode, I collected a few of the glittering purple blocks. I totally forgot at the time that the crystals themselves could be used to duplicate Timothy, but at least I have a geode pretty much right beneath spawn that I've got access to. I then headed back up the way I came, which brought me back to the mineshaft. Now, I know you've all seen a lot of mineshaft exploration footage, so I'll save you some time with a couple vague highlights. Cave spider spawner, zombie spawner, spider spawner, ores, cave spider spawner, minecart chest. Yep. That about covers it. Back on the surface, I dealt with a few creepers trying to destroy all of my hard-earned items, and on day 63, I completed my first set of diamond tools in Eternia. I then extended my mineshaft all the way down to Y-54. It definitely felt weird not stopping at Y11. Anyway, down at the base of the strip mine, I carved out a little room from which all the mines would extend. Fucking Christ, modern cave noises sound like they're straight out of a horror mod. Climbing out of the stairway, which desperately needed staircases as soon as possible, I noticed that the grown-in grass cliff face looked pretty nicely detailed. I chopped down some more nearby trees for the build I had planned. I was going to have to deal with a lot of the worst kind of trees to chop down, namely those large winding branched oak trees. Taking a break from doing that though, I realized that I was going to be needing quite a bit of stone for what I had in mind for my build. So I ran a couple blocks further out and began digging a quarry, as mining at Y11 wasn't anywhere near as useful as it used to be pre 1.16. Seeing as I'm putting so much work into preparing for it, I think it's about time you know what it is I intend to build. Working off of Ethan's vague suggestion for me to build a castle back when I first told him the name of the world was Eternia, I decided to do something similar and try build a fortress, i.e. a stockier, less livable castle. That's what I was gathering all this stone for. Jesus! Okay, I'll sleep. Why is thunder so fucking loud compared to other weather noises? With a good chunk, no pun intended, of the quarry mined out, I returned to the spawn area and fixed up the oak bridge I'd made earlier. After waiting for all my stone to smelt to craft some stone bricks, I started trying to outline how this fortress would look. I knew I wanted some depth to the design. I'm not trying to sound like XQC right now. This is genuine attempts. I knew I wanted some depth to the design, having those classic 4 tower structures in each corner, but I was having trouble fitting it in on top of the cliff nicely, messing around with different designs quite a bit. But I guess this is actually what I should be doing more often. This is my forever world after all. I want the things I build in it to be as well put together as they can be from the start, and that means taking a lot of care, like I did with Skype Manor. I finally came up with a shape I was almost convinced by, having to move all of my belongings to fit its structure in. I kept certain faces of the fortress's exterior hanging over the cliff face intentionally, as I hoped to make parts of it descend into the water ravine below to make the build really feel cemented into the side of the cliff. After deciding to build the towers in each corner of the fortress with a circular shape, I was finally convinced by my design. I'd never done a castle or a fortress build with circular towers before, and it made this design feel exciting to try it out. On day 69, I mirrored this design on the other side of what would be the fortress floor, having to get rid of a many number of enormous oak trees in the process. That joke I made about the wandering trader back at Skype Manor was really ringing true the more I played in Eternia. This guy was fucking everywhere constantly. I wish he would wander around a bit more. I spent the rest of the day trying to make sure I found every little oak log inside the trees I was chopping down, and on day 70 finished outlining the base of the fortress, which, as you might guess, took chopping down a lot more enormous oak trees. I then got rid of the grass cluttering up the plot of my building land, satisfyingly hopping around the area I'd cleared for this build. I then began building up this base outline using stone brick and cracked stone brick. I quickly realized how much stone this build was actually going to take, as by day 72 I was already dangerously low on stone brick. I returned to the nearby quarry to remedy this issue, mining some much needed fuel in the process. On day 73, I continued erecting the fortress walls using that familiar alternating stone and cracked stone brick. I also built the beginnings of an entrance platform, making it easier to come and go in and out of the fortress instead of having to scale the wall every time I needed to leave. I continued with the walls into the evening, and on day 74 started transitioning the stone brick into smooth stone. I intended for this fortress to have a kind of gradient, with grey blocks going up its walls and towers, starting with stone brick, making its way up through smooth stone and eventually into cobble. On day 75, the walls were coming along nicely, but I unfortunately ran out of stone once again, returning to the quarry. After mining away for a little, I thought it would be nice not to have to run back to the fortress every time I needed to sleep, so I brought some fences and a bed over to make the quarry slightly less precarious and to be able to take quick naps when I needed to. I also brought a sign to name this Benedict Quarry. I literally had no reason for doing that, the name just sprung to mind, so for any Benedicts out there watching, this one's for you. I quickly put the bed to use, and on day 76, safely secured a perimeter around Benedict Quarry, and continued to mine. On day 77, I got back to building up the wall with all this newly mined and smelted stone. The fortress walls had transitioned to pretty much entirely smooth stone by this point in height, and on day 78, a zombie still burning in the daylight got a cheap shot on me, and made me realize the walls were clearly not high enough yet. By day 79, I had reached a height I was comfortable with, and bridged the gap over the entrance. I wanted the exterior of the fortress to be what I focused on getting done before the first 100 days of Eternia were up, so I began putting together a kind of pillar design against the side of the walls. Using stone and stone brick stairs, I was able to design a look that created a fair amount of detail without much effort. If this was on every side of the build and also connected with a hypothetical parapet, I thought it would turn out looking pretty great. On day 80, I completed more of these pillars and pushed the land by one of the fortress walls back a bit. The fortress wouldn't feel as imposing if you could almost bloody jump right onto the parapet, which I also installed along with some more stair detailing. I then came up with a similar design for the entrance, differing slightly to allow for a more grand entranceway. I was going to be needing more stone to realize this vision though. Mining away in Benedict Quarry through night and day, sunshine and rain, I collected quite a fair amount of cobble. On day 82, I got to continue working on the entrance to the fortress, and while I was chipping away at the design, I thought to myself it was probably time to attribute a name to the first build many will see joining into this world. I initially thought of paying homage to Cathedral Zero in my last main world, which was a cathedral built at spawn, and call this Fortress Zero. Not only did this not roll off the tongue really, but Ethan pointed out to me that this first main base of the world deserved to be more than a homage, deserved to be its own thing. So as I completed the main structure of the entranceway, I decided to call this the Eternia Fortress. or Fortress of Eternia, whichever you prefer. Continuing on with the pillar designs on either side of the fortress, I started to feel like the walls got more and more imposing with each addition. On day 83 I continued with this, moving on to building them on the precarious cliffside face of the fortress. With that, I'd finished all the pillar and parapet detailing. I then got a bit ahead of myself and started bone mealing around the fortress to add some detail. It did make the outskirts look really cool, particularly the view backing away from the cliffside of the fortress. On day 84, I smoothed out the inner entranceway and soon after witnessed a horrific attempted llama hanging. I then extended the parapets inward as well. On day 85, I worked on the inner entrance. I wanted to have some fences covering part of the entranceway to make a kind of gate half open look. To do this, I built 2 inner fortress pillars which matched the style of the exterior one. This also was making the entrance feel a lot thicker and grander. On day 86, I thickened it up even more to make sure the gates? Fuck, you're falling apart, Jen. On day 86, I thickened it up even more to make sure the gate felt properly embedded in the wall, making sure to follow the style of detail I'd made up until this point. Speaking of, I added a little depth detail to the gate entrance. Speaking of, I added a little depth detail to the gate entrance, leaving gaps for some lighting in the future. Unfortunately, I didn't have access to any glowstone to make redstone lamps at the moment, which is what I wanted to use, so I left the lighting for later. I then began work on erecting the 4 fortress towers. I added in some depth to the design early on to hopefully make it feel like these towers kind of curved inward and outward as they increased in height. These towers would eventually transition from stone into cobble, which I began doing once they were at a reasonable height. Taking a step back, it looked alright. I wasn't fully convinced by the stone to cobble transition, but I'd worry about filling in some transitioning detail later. For the time being, I got to work on the next tower. On day 89, I was complaining to my friend Michael about how irritating it was that mining at Y11 wasn't useful anymore, as I'd felt I'd lost a good source of cobblestone mining. He then pointed out that although it may not be as effective as it used to be, you still had a chance of getting diamonds at all, which of course wasn't the case with most of quarry mining. So I expended my flimsy iron pickaxe mining away at that good old Y11. While I didn't get any diamonds, I did get a whole lot of cobble, which of course was the reason I was down there in the first place. I made a bunch of stairs out of the granite I'd involuntarily mined over the last 40-ish days to fill in that staircase so that I could actually get in and out of the strip mine at a reasonable pace. I then added an Eternia fortress sign to the birch commune. On day 90, I got back to work on the fortress towers, making sure they were all going to be equal in height. I used the multitude of iron I had to fill in some of the tower windows with iron bars. I realized the build was looking quite overbearingly grey at this point, so I decided to make the tower roofs stand out a bit more, and crafted myself some deep slate variants to build them out of. I got a bit ahead of myself and started building one of the tower roofs before some of the other bases were even finished. Alternating with cobbled deep slate and deep slate tiles, I hope to create a somewhat coherent transition from the cobblestone tower base below. On day 92, I finished the first of these dark roofs, making sure to make the design as pointy as possible, utilizing deep slate walls to that end. I was pretty satisfied with how it ended up looking, but I was running out of days left. I didn't have time to ogle my creation too much. I had to get to replicating it 3 times. On day 93, I brought Timothy to the Eternia fortress to get some help with picking up my loose dirt that I'm always dropping all over the place. I'm quite the scaffolding hater if you didn't know. I pretty much always use dirt for building purposes like this. I continued building the next tower, but of course I ran out of stone once again. I was nervous with how much time I was wasting in these mines, but it was kind of vital to getting the build done, so there wasn't much I could do. I installed that granite staircase to help speed up the process in future though. I emerged at nighttime, noticing the fortress blended into the darkness a bit too well. I'm realizing there's definitely need to be a lot of interior lighting, because right now this fortress is like as dark as the night sky behind it.
With the obviously the visual update coming to Bedrock, it gives such a beautiful visual to Minecraft that makes it feel like a vibrant, it feels like it's living. Like we said, like how you walked through the forest there and saw foxes killing chickens and then wolves killing foxes.
Yeah,
and like,
yeah,
you know,
so
like they hunt.
Yeah,
the chickens now. We've made the discovery that the different chickens have different eggs. So,
yeah. You were also saying that it would be kind of cool to have like similar to how we have ambient cave noises, that we could have ambient like woods
animal
noises.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is they've added all these systems, except there's no actual sound to them.
Yeah,
and that's what bugs me. Like when I walk into except the animal. Like when I walk into, let's say, like those underground caves, it's all the nature in it. How cool would it be? Because they're making Minecraft feel that it's a living, working system more and more. Add like the sound of the breeze and like bugs going off occasionally and birds tweeting and maybe a particularly strong gust. And like you said, if it's nighttime, like we have cave noises, give me like a wolf howling at night. Or
yeah, that'd be really cool. I kept building the fortress while chatting to Ethan about all things Minecraft when he asked a pretty relevant question.
But the next big question is, when are you opening up your world for others?
This fortress, the Eternia fortress, seems like very symbolic of like, you know, it's at spawn. It's like the first big build I've done in this area. It's utilizing the very Eternia exclusive terrain here of this like weird ravine thing. And I think once this is set up and I have my stuff in here and it's like I'm actually using it as a base and I'm just starting to expand out into the woods, then I will be like, come on, hop in.
I've already been thinking I've been constantly thinking about what I'm going to build.
On day 95, I continued as you might expect, working on building up the last tower base with Timothy as my faithful ally, or should I say, Allay. That was actually pretty good. I returned to Benedict Quarry in the hopes of having better odds of finding coal down here than at Y11, but no luck. I was running out of fuel and it was getting pretty embarrassing to keep using leaves. I did get a treat on my way back to the Eternia fortress, getting to see how nicely the towers cut into the skyline from a distance. Wow, seeing the castle in the distance like this is really cool. Or the fortress, excuse me. It is pretty grayscaled here, but my goal is to make kingdom type shit and have like flags straight down on the inside.
Yeah, like banners and stuff like that. I think you should do banners on the outside as well.
Yeah, that's a good point actually. Banners on the outside as well. And I think that'll make the banners like pop out. All right, today's gonna be a rainy building day. The rain didn't stop me from keeping out the building work, accompanied by Ethan and Timothy, of course. What the hell did I do all that mining for? I was finding like all this cobblestone and smelting all this smooth stone religiously because I thought I needed a lot of it, but I'm done with it now. I need to do the deep slate. Fuck. Mining deep slate without a diamond pickaxe is gonna be like ripping off skin. I'm still not convinced this stone brick to stone to cobblestone gradient works, but I'm too lazy to change it now. This is just what it looks like. But if anyone's like, wow, you know, you got a really good building style, except this one thing, I didn't really get it. I don't really understand how you thought that was gonna work. I feel you. I get it.
I mean, you could actually integrate some tuff in there. Some tuff or maybe some andesite. I love tuff. I'm always pleasantly surprised by that block.
Is it a kind of stone? Oh, what? Holy shit. Have you seen this, Ethan? Look at this.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
This looks fucking sick. All right, I used to be a tuff hater up until 5 seconds ago. And they have brick variants?
Yeah,
no, man, this is actually just... I can't wait to do the I am the danger speech to my wife in the future. You know how much I make a year? Even if I told you, you wouldn't believe me. Someone opens their Minecraft world and gets griefed, and you think that of me? No! I am the one who griefs.
Yeah. Get a life, loser.
Okay. I messed around with including some variation in the smooth stone to transition to cobblestone better, which unfortunately did look a lot nicer with andesite. God damn it. You know what's unfortunate is that it actually works quite well. The reason I say it's unfortunate is because now I gotta change all the fucking... I'm gonna leave it a stone for now. I'll go around with some andesite detail when I have time. Holy shit. Day 97. It's gonna be a close one.
You better finish the entire build.
Okay, fuck off. Come on, Timmy. Dude, he's a fucking trooper, this guy. I love this guy. Oh my god. Just fucking... Ethan, have you seen him in action?
Yeah, I like and love it.
You what? You like and love it?
I fucking love it.
I like and love it, man. I like and love it. Unfortunately, running out of deep slate, I had to return to the mineshaft depths once again, taking up precious time. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked here and I really shouldn't be. Why am I exploring a cave, Stuart? You don't have fucking time for this. I just can't help. I yearn for the mines. Okay, calling it off. That's good. I think with 3 more, I'll be able to get through. I have to go to the surface to make another pickaxe anyway, so I'm gonna assume with 3 stacks in a bit, I can finish this build. What the hell? Timothy, where the hell are you? Do you get stuck? Timothy, you better not be fucking dead. Timothy, I swear to God, if you're dead or somehow glitch despawned, I'm gonna be really pissed off with you, Timothy. Bro, Timothy, where the fuck? No, man. No, dog.
Look, you're left underwater.
Huh? Oh. Timothy, don't worry me like that.
My insane 2020 vision, whatever it is.
Whoa, I got a whole family of wolves living in my fortress, man. What the hell? Get out of here. Freeloaders. Hey, there's a zombie. There's a zombie on the castle walls. You're right there, Timothy. Fuck. With only 2 days left, it was going to be a close call with finishing the watchtowers in time. Hopefully, though, I'd collected enough deep slate to see the job through. I had an unfortunate setback in the form of building the second roof wrong. Oh, I don't have a pickaxe. Oh my god, I don't have time for this. I knocked down a good portion of the roof, built it up again, and forgot the wall to place it on the very top. You are shitting me. I left the top of the... I know, scaffolding, shut up. Climbed all the way back up and realized that in fact I needed 2 wall blocks at the very top. Oh, fuck. I'm gonna off myself. I climbed my way back down and up the tower once again and finally completed this one, moving swiftly on to building the third, hopefully without any errors this time. I continued building until the sunset, at which point I jumped down to go to sleep again. You might be wondering why I wasn't just building through the night, and the short answer is that I absolutely refuse to have any major progression setbacks over a misplaced creeper that spawned in the darkness. On the 99th day. It's gonna be a close one.
Move.
If I have to get more deep slate, I'm fucking screwed. I've never been this down to the wire in 100 days. I swiftly continued building the tower ever upwards. Should bring what am I doing, honestly? I should bring a stone cutter up here with me. Didn't even consider that as a possibility for some reason. Yeah, you're coming with me. I finished off the third roof with plenty of day to spare and hopped over to the fourth and final to replicate it there. But of course, my progress was halted by running out of fucking deep slate. I then sprinted in the dark into my strip mine to collect the last of the deep slate I needed.
Ah, dude, look over there. Someone got hit in the boiling lines.
In the boiling lines.
Someone got hit in the boiling lines. Peace out!
Love the Ice King. Hey,
Simon.
didn't a really cool YouTuber make like a
half-hour-long video essay?
Yeah,
about,
video essay about
Adventure Time and coping with loss? Yes, now that you mention it, I think Steve.
Simon, my bad.
Who the fuck is Steve? Yo, you can run so fast upstairs. Alright, I'm going, here's, oh fuck! Explode on me now. No, it seems silly to use a golden apple, but I had no regen, got no food. I'm so poor. Hold on, actually, let me see if there's anything in the birch. Commune. Use your brain, Stuart. You see any food? Sweet berries. Fuck. Oh, there's a chicken outside. What am I doing? Cooked chicken. Fuck. Still not.
Eat the berries.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Dude, I'm sorry. I'm panicking. Okay. All right. Rejuvenated. Okay. Here's how this is going to go down. I'm going to go to sleep. Day 100 is going to begin. I'm going to take all of this deep slate and some andesite up with me to the towers. Shove this all on the top of the last tower. Put in as much andesite as I can between the cobblestone and the stone. And then day 100 is going to have accomplished what I need to accomplish. Yeah. Oh, dude, it's looking good, man. It looks good from over here.
Do you think jet fuel could melt andesite flowers?
Okay, here we go. Okay, all right, here we go. Day 100, days played 100, triple digits, everybody. Look at this guy. Nerd. Don't follow me, spider. Don't you dare follow me.
See, look, they even aggro in the day. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
no, this is just because the spider was generated at night. All right. Where the fuck is Timothy? This guy, I swear to God, if he's stuck in the mines, I don't actually have time for this. Timothy, bro, I'm sorry. You are fucking delaying. Timothy, that means... Oh. Okay, all right. You know what? We don't have time for Timothy. There's going to be dirt littered around because fucking Timothy isn't here to do his job.
Go.
What the hell, Timothy? I swear to... I'm genuinely upset with Timothy right now. My boy is supposed to have my back, and now what? I have to go find him in the fucking mine shafts. I put together the last of the watchtowers as quickly as I could on my 100th day in my Minecraft forever world. This fucking thing, boom, 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 boom. Okay, we have completed the 4 watchtowers of the Fortress of Eternia Fortress, whatever you'd like to. I wanted it to fit on one sign when I wrote it in the Birch Commune, so I said Eternia Fortress, but interchangeable. Timothy is slacking, bruh. I'm sorry. This is ridiculous. I wish I could have done more. I was hoping to at least get a little bit of the parapets done, but it doesn't seem like I'm gonna have time. Oh, it can't be raining on the 100th day. Okay, we're gonna go grab Timothy because I want him here with me, helping me out on this last day. And then we're gonna chuck in all of this andesite. And unfortunately, yes, on this rainy, gloomy rainy day, we are going to...
Did you just say gloomy
Yeah, what the hell? What's your problem?
Type shit, you know.
Yeah, dude, hell yeah, that's what I'm saying. Type shit. This shit looks fucking sick. Are you kidding? Look at this.
It looks fucking awesome.
I'm really chuffed with this build, especially at and I got big plans. You think this is how it's gonna look in the end? you got no idea. You got no idea. Jemima, can I call you back just now?
Yeah.
All right, chat just now. I love you.
I love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Timothy, you fuckwit. Holy shit.
Right back
Christ almighty. Come on. Do I have to use the leash? I don't have the fucking leash. Timothy. Timothy, I'll breadcrumb trail you. Where are you? Here. Ah, you want to pick up that dirt, huh? And drop it to me. Drop it to me. You want to drop it to me? Yes. Come on. Come on, Timothy. You're doing great. I'm never taking you to the mines again. All right. I just wanted you to be here with me on my last... Thank you. You do good work, but like sometimes you're pretty fucking useless, honestly, dude. But it's okay. You're here now. Okay, Timmy. Where the hell are you now? Okay, you're up there. That's fine. Our last little thing we're going to do together is... Is this the sun setting? I can't tell. I think it might be.
Might be.
Fuck. Oh, okay, we don't have time for the andesite. And it's all your fault, Timothy. You know, it's all your fucking fault. I still haven't explored the nether, haven't even made an inkling of progress towards the end. All I want to focus on in this world is getting a really solid foundation before I start jumping around, doing exciting things. I want my world to look good and feel lived in. And I think this is an incredible start to that. So as I draw the first 100 days in Eternia to a close, I hope those of you who don't really play modern Minecraft have realized, as I have, that it has so much fun to offer. I'm an old Minecraft enjoyer through and through, and the launcher will always let me play those versions, but I think I would be remiss not to play with all the genuinely fun and fresh features that come with modern Minecraft. My younger self would definitely have a thing or two to say about me not using them, and now I can proudly say that I'm giving it a shot, and I'm loving it. I hope you're keen to see more of Eternia in the future, and why not subscribe if you are, and most importantly, have a good one. I'll see you around.